You could be super book smart. You could be a really, really intelligent person, but it would not necessarily mean you're a great pilot. I met lots of really book smart people who had failed test after test after test in the practical flying element of things. I met a lot of people who weren't book smart, who had really struggled in their theory side of things, who did extremely well in their practical flying. Now, of course, the ultimate goal is to be an overall all-rounder, which is essentially the goal that I aim for you guys. However, when it comes to this element of training, I think with having more life experience and exposing yourself to more unfamiliar situations, you will find that you're at a bit more of an advantage than I was. So I had started my flight training, and this was my first progress test, and this was the first test that I had ever done in my entire life that was practical. Now, as you guys can imagine, I went in there incredibly nervous, and I was really, really scared about the whole situation. Now, the instructor and the examiner that was examining me on that progress test, who was watching my landings and takeoffs, was incredibly nice. And something that the FAA do very, very well is a theory kind of test that you do before you start flying. So you can expect when you do any skills test, especially if it's out in America, and even in the UK, because I did them in the UK as well, you're going to be asked some theory questions about the aircraft and about flying generally. So they asked me a few questions. Thankfully, I had really, really researched and looked up the answers and understood what they were going to basically ask me about the aircraft, and had done my due diligence to make sure that I was really, really ready to answer those questions. And thankfully, I managed to answer a few of those questions. Some of them I didn't know, and it's fine. If you don't know everything, you don't know everything. So the instructor and the examiner just went through the question with me and answered it for me and said, this is the actual answer if you didn't know. And that's fine. We don't know everything. We're in training. We're just learning how to operate, and it's very, very early in our careers. So he understood that. He was very, very open-minded, and he didn't hold this against me. However, of course, naturally, you do feel in yourself a little bit of a lacking of confidence as a result of getting some things wrong. And that is just natural. Like I mentioned earlier, we are perfectionists as pilots. So when we don't do perfect, we can be very, very hard on ourselves. However, I then went towards the aircraft, and one of the prerequisites was doing a preliminary inspection of the aircraft. So I did that,